Boom. All right. I never know when it's going to start, but we are live right now. It is Wednesday. It is Hard Questions Made Easy with Scott. We're going to go through a couple questions here and there. Let's roll through these. But before we do, we want to talk about kind of like what you guys are facing right now. I know a lot of you guys are stressed because of the end of the year is coming. Maybe it's on your like individual development plan to be like, hey, I got to get this PMP before the end of the year, this kind of stuff. What we want to do as we go through this is realize that like you have 90 days, about 90 days, a little bit more than that. But if you take out the holidays, you got less than that. So what we want to do is realize that you can do this. You just got to set a plan. You got to lay it out and you got to ask yourself, like, is this a priority? Because if it's a priority, you'll find time, you'll find a way to do it, and you'll get it done. All right. So let me just give you some rough stats. Like if you got 90 days, how much time do you have to put in? Now, if you're working with us and doing these things, all I would need is about 10 hours of your time a week, and we could be done in 4 to 6 weeks. Easy peasy. All right. So if you're out there and you're like, dude, end of the year's coming, I'm lost, I want to get better, I need a little bit of time, all I would say to you is like, yo, can you commit to 10 hours a week? And you'd say probably, yeah. And then from that, we'd be ready to roll. Okay. And so right now we're going to go through questions. We're going to knock this thing out. And let me just set it up right and we'll go in there. And if you're out there in the etherland, wherever you are in this world, just ask your questions in the chat and we'll get on started. So here we go. Questions. We always want to solve them in a very methodical manner. Somebody out there say hello. Somebody say hello. There's people watching. Say hello. Don't leave me alone. All right. And so we want to solve them in a very methodical manner. If you're not solving in a very methodical manner, then you're wasting your time. I don't want to be brusque with you, but all those people on the internet who are telling you take 1,000 or hundreds of questions, they don't know what they're talking about. They are wasting your time. What's up, Cindy? What's up, Marty? What is up? All right. They're wasting your time. What you need to do is focus on how you solve problems and narrow down and really squeeze all the goodness from them. What is up, Mrs. Fowler? Hey, she says, John, hey. Some of you guys are going to see some of these questions because we went through them today. We're going to do it again. So, all right, let me go through this and knock it out. So anytime we solve questions, hold on, let me go to the next page. We are going to do it in a methodical manner. Okay, Claudia, you jumped in as well. So, all right, we're going to go through questions. You guys went to the noon call. Might have seen these before. It's totally okay. So, hey, what's up, Deidre? It's good to talk to you. I love that people are logging in. So the first thing we always want to do is align ourselves to what's most important, and that's the last line of the sentence. People make the mistake, and they just kind of just read through like a crazy person. We say here first, okay, what is the one way that the project manager could have avoided this result? When you read, do it in a dramatic fashion. Act like you're a Shakespearean actor or whatever. Like, what is one way that the project manager could have avoided? All right, so this is a looking back thing. Sweet. Now, as we go through this, boom, we go to understand. What's up, James? Good to see you, brother. We go back to the base of the question, and we just say, what's the context? What matters? Let's look into it, all right? So let's read. What could we have done better? So it says, a customer is not satisfied with the delivered product. Okay, we produce something. They don't like it. Happens, that sucks. Saying that it was not what they expected. That's weird. Like, weren't they involved in the process? Like, did we screw something up? Did we misunderstand? See, like, you don't have to stop every time and do this, but I'm trying to say, get context in your mind. Not what they expected. The project manager is surprised. Wow, that's news to me. Because the Agile development team delivered the product several iterations earlier. So they're saying, hey, we're Agile. That's supposed to be engaging. That's supposed to be fast acting. That's supposed to be, bringing people in. We did this a while ago. Why are you coming to me now, they said. So what we're doing is we're asserting what we think. So what would I say? Well, Agile is supposed to be what we said. Engaging is supposed to be customer collaboration. If you read the Agile Manifesto, that's deep in there, right? So it's weird that they come to us later and say, hey, it's not what I expected. So something like, what do they say? Stinks and what are they? I'm not a Shakespeare guy. It's been a long day. I see you on TV tonight. Thanks for everything you do. What's up? And so something's amiss here. We didn't have somebody involved in the process, right? And so we assert what we think is saying, hey, we as the project team or the scrum master or the product owner, we screwed up. We didn't bring somebody in. That's what I'm thinking. And I want you to think before you even get to the answers. Because too many people go through the questions and they don't think. So let's go through. Let's look for like, did we collaborate enough? That's what I'm looking for. Let's go to A. Let's evaluate. Now I'm still here, so I just don't want my face to go away. So first of all, A says, could it have been avoided if, so you're restating this, if, then go to the answer, we required team sign-off for each of the constant changes to the requirements. Well, I mean, is the team going to sign off? It would be like the product owner makes these decisions, right, to changes in collaboration with the customer. Would it require a team sign off for the constant changes in the requirements? Would that have prevented them from not being aligned? Well, maybe having better communication and better sign off would have, but in reality here, we would want to avoid the fact that we're getting to a later point and having the missing. So I don't think that's really going to nail us down there. That's just a higher level of overhead that we put in there. It's not the normal process, so no good. B, set aside more resources for product testing after changes are made. Well, I mean, we can add more team members to our project, right? If testing is important, if we, need to be better at it, add robustness to our process, okay, add them to the team. But really, it doesn't say that like, hey, there's an issue with the quality. It says they didn't think that we gave them what they expected. So that's not a quality issue in the sense of like, it's not working. It's the tests were, not properly done. They're saying that we built the wrong thing. So that doesn't really solve the problem that we're there. So you got to make sure that while an answer might seem okay, logically, does it answer the problem up above? Does the pill solve the issue? Right? You can take a vaccine for something that you don't have a problem for. No reason to take that vaccine. I'm not an expert, but you know what I'm saying. Go to C. Would it have been prevented if we had made sure that the customer was aware of the value of the demos? I see Harini down there and Marty down there. Good job. You got to see before me, but I go slow. All right. And so made sure that the customer was aware of the value of the demos. I think that's like stating it in the most, like the weakest possible way. Like I would want to drag this customer in to the demo, right? I'd want to make sure that they are absolutely there because that's the purpose of the demo. Make sure the product owner and the customer are all there and we can get feedback on the things that we produce. So it's obvious that, sure, they need to understand the value of them, but they need to have feet in the room, butt in seat to go there, hold the product, feel the product, see the product, talk about the product. Is it fit for purpose? All these things. So I like it, but let's go to D. Maybe that is better. Ensure that the team fully participates in developing the project scope. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, we can engage the team and experts in flushing out and refining the stories and working through these things. But is that going to help us ensure that the customer has full alignment with what we're actually doing? No, because a lot of that's done up front and refined over time. But we need the customer in there. So I don't know about you guys out there in TV land, but I'm going with C. Carlos is on C. Claudia's on C. Marty's on C. Harini's on C. Everybody's on C. Wow, we got 15 people. This is awesome. So Cindy's on C with an exclamation point. I'll put that on the screen. How do I put that on the screen? Boom. Cindy says C. This is awesome. So let's see what happens. Boom. I think there it is. Value of the demos. Boom. That's the answer right there. And so what is a demo? Demo or review meeting. It's at the end of a sprint, right? Or iteration. It's that meeting where what's the purpose? Like somebody in the chat, write in what the purpose of the demo or the review is. It's to get that feedback loop. It's to get confirmation that we have produced the product to the expectations of the customer, right? And what are we going to do? A lot of time we have the user stories always being produced on the back of the card. It's got the acceptance criteria. That could be the script in a sense the product owner goes through. Make sure we meet, what they established early on. And then they actually go there, feel the product, touch the product, use the product, get ideas, get feedback. We learn from it and we move on to the next one. So that's what we're trying to do. Good job, Cindy, out there. All right, so let's do another one for fun. All right, so we go back to the beginning. And always we're trying to improve, so we do that. So let's go through the long one. Let me we'll go through here. I'll get one that I can do it in here. Oh God, math. All right, so everybody loves math. There's not a ton of EVM questions on the exam, the new exam. I know it makes you sad. It honestly should make you sad because EVM questions are very easy. They're logical. You just got to look at them the right way. So let me break it down for you, all right? Play by the same rules. Read the last sentence. What is the scheduled performance index, scheduled performance index, and the cost performance index, SPI and CPI? So that's sweet. So do we know those equations? You should. They're easy, all right? Let me walk you through. There's three things you got to know, all right? There are plan value, earn value, and actual cost. And if you look at it kind of weirdly, that spells P, P-E-A. So if you have to remember it, just remember like P's, like your mother told you to eat. P-E-A, all right? And then we have to figure out schedule variance and cost variance. I draw a little S here and a little C there to remind me because my name is Scott, and I read down Scott, S-C. You see the S-C? And I draw little lines between here. These lines help me remember, if I needed to, remember what the equations are. So that S makes me think of schedule variance or schedule performance index. So I'll do schedule performance index equals, make sure I don't run out of space. We start with where it in the middle, earn value. There's a lot of different ways to either logic through this or remember it. Earn value, and then you just follow it out. What's this little link by the S thing? By the PV. So I know my equation there. SPI equals EV minus PV. If I go to the CV, I always start in the middle. So CPI, this is super duper easy, simple, easy money stuff. Minus, that's an E. Minus, we follow it out here, AC, minus AC. What mistake did I make? I put a negative in between there, right? No, I do not love math, Cindy says. Well, Cindy, it's easy, all right? So I made a mistake that I put the negative. That's actually for the SV and CV. So what we should be is a division. And so that's simple. Those are the equations. What do we see that the same? EV's on the top. That's simple. The PIs are the same in both. The S is right there. So all we really got to remember is that the SPI and CPI equations have EV on the top and then something different on the bottom. So that's easy. All we got to remember is those two little things. PV. If you want to remember something, SP. My name's Scott Payne. SP. Easy peasy. And then I don't have anything for the other one. CA, make up your own thing. CPI is that. So all we got to do is find the values now. Sweet. All right, let me read it. I'm going to understand. I'm going to assert. I'm going to evaluate. Here we go. All right. So here we go. A project should have been 90% complete. Should have been. This should is important. Okay. But by now is only 65% complete. The total project budget is 120, and the actual cost of work performed is $80,000 bucks. What's the SPI? What's the CPI? So, okay, let me teach you how this works. PV, the word you need to think of is should all the time. Sweet. And so the word should is right here. Bam, 90%. So up here it says should. What do we look at? Right there, 90% of the total budget. We should have been done with 90% of the project. So 90%. 0.9, 90%, times what's the total budget? 120K. So we'll just do 120K. Somebody out there in TV land, I think it's like 100 something, 108 or something like that, 102. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Oh, it's actually just 12 off that. I am that smart. It's 108. That's easy. That's easy math. 108K. So PV is 108K. That means that we should have completed $108,000 worth of the scheduled progress. Okay, so that's our PV. All right, so I drew on this thing, make it a little more confusing, but simple dimple. Let me go through here. So right there, 108K. Now all we got to do is find out what our EV. That's what work that is done. We are done. The work that is done is 65%. So earn value is the word is equals 65% times 120. I am not smart enough to do that in my head. Actually, yeah, I am. It's what is it? 36 plus 60, so 96. I think that's the answer. 0.65 times 120. That was close, whatever. I don't know what I said. 78. Let's just imagine that I said it right. I think I did it. Yeah, 78. I was close. I don't know what I said. So 60 or 78 divided by 107, 108. Is that good or bad? I know there's a lot of drawing. I'm just going to clean this up. Clean it up. That's bad, right? Somebody tell me, hey, Europe is calling. What's up, Europe? Hey, Europe. Hey, Daniel. I don't know what 162,000 is, but it ain't right. And so EV right now is 0.65 times 1.2. I think that's right. Let's check it right. 0.78 or 78. So divided 78 divided by 108. Let's see what we get there. 0.722222 till the 2 stop going. Here we go. Did I run out of space? It's a 72. There's a 7 and a 2 over there. All right? Just trust me. 72's over here. So our SPI is 0.72. So we know that's right because none of the other SPIs are near 72. Normally, they're going to give you 2 that are the same answer. That 0.72 is bad. It means every day that we're supposed to accomplish like a value of 1 in the schedule, we could produce less of it. We get less of down the road. So every day it's going to get worse, worse, worse. It's piling up. We have to improve toward the end to actually catch up. So if we go CPI, and I'll just move it over a little bit, that's bad. We'll just do it for fun. The earned value is 78, and the actual cost, what did we say it is? 80K. That's better. So 78 over 80K is like 0.9 something, something, something. 78 divided by 80K is 0.97, 0.98, 0.9 whatever. That's like almost 1. If the CPI is 1, that means every dollar we put into the project slot machine, we get $1 of value out. We're a little less than that. We're going to overshoot our budget. It's going to be a little bad, but it could be worse. But we need to get our stuff straight. So 0.98 is there. It's bad. We get it right. All right. So deep night here preparing the exam. All right, dude. Yeah, it is. In Europe, it's late. When's your exam? And Tanius, what we need to learn from this. So decide, I think the answer is A. The answer is A. All right. What do we need to learn from this is like very, very simple. All right. So when we look for EVM questions, let me just break it down really simple. When you look for EVM questions, I want you to look for 3 words. Those 3 words are should, is, and like actual cost. Actual cost, actual spend. That's actually 4 words. I'm not going to lie to you. It's 4 words. But you get me. 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's look. Hey, should's there. Hey, is there. Hey, actual cost is there. Easy peasy. Now, when you see that word should, I want you to say plan value. All right? Let me find where my mouse is. That's plan value. So whatever's following that helps you get to plan value. Whatever's after is earned value. And whatever's actual cost is actual cost. That's the easy peasy one. So all you need is these 3 values to solve any EVM equation, at least start. And that's easy because you can just pick out the should, is, and actual cost. Easy peasy. All right? So just look for those, derive the values, solve the problem. Call your mom. Tell her you're smart. Stuff like that. You'll be all right. All right, let's do one more. Let me fix this real quick. And then I'll get it over there. Make it fit on the screen. Give me 2 seconds. All right, cool. We got it to fit. I'll tell you what the bottom says. Sorry. I'm gonna fix it. Make it right. Do it right. There we go. I would much prefer to be talking with you one-on-one or, 2-on-1 or whatever, all these people on one, so that I could see faces and work through stuff. So if you'd like to do that, send me an email, Scott@pmmasterprep.com. I'll get you in a coaching call so that I can actually see your face, actually talk it through. It's very quiet in my room. I know you guys are chatting here and I appreciate it, but it's more fun when we can do it together. All right. So let's go through a question. All right. So number one, last sentence. It says during planning. So when we're in planning, could be an agile project, but probably waterfall when they throw that word in there. During planning, what should the project manager do to avoid any scope creep and keep the team focused on delivering a product that meets requirements? All right, so scope creep. So we want to keep from the scope expanding. Anytime you hear the word scope creep, I want you to think change control. Just like anything in there for like these questions. Like, boom, the answer is probably going to be change control. Like we're going to read everything. We're going to logic through it. But the only way that we're going to keep control of this thing is to define in detail what our requirements are, nail down a baseline, and then stick to it. Can't get loose, can't get excited, can't get pushed around with ideas. If there needs to be a change to the baseline, there's one way and one way only. Change control board approval. That's it. Scope creep is the gradual expansion, well-intentioned as it is, past what we originally said we were going to do. It's the death of projects. All right. So what we want to do every time we see scope creep, change control board. If we're in a short time, boom, boom, hit that, you're done. But let's go through in detail. All right. Let's go to the top. A project manager joins a project that has the following features. Globally distributed team, budget is fixed. All right. That's interesting. That's like waterfall-y talk. Very tight deadlines. This is every project in the world, right? They want something specific. They don't give you ever the money, and they want it yesterday. Sweet. It says, during planning, what should the project manager do to avoid any scope creep to keep the team focused on delivering a product that meets requirements? So what do we got to do? We got to nail it down and stay on it and only open the door to new scope when we get approval. Simple dimple of that, all right? So that's what we did to understand it. We assert what we think. I just told you, and then let's go through and decide. Let's evaluate and decide. All right, so let's look at A. Always one by one. Don't rush. Russians for suckers. A is put any changes to scope through a formal approval process. Didn't I just say that? That's pretty good, right? Harini, good job. Yeah, put any changes. Harini's already there. Boom. Claudia's already there. Awesome. Sweet. Harini, I like the picture. That's cool. All right, sweet. So we're going to like that, but we're going to hold on to it, see what else they throw in our neighborhood. Hold daily stand-ups with all development teams. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do, just in general, right? We have them in our company. Bing, bing, bing every day. Very focused. There's a process to it. There's a goal, right? We're sharing. We're collaborating. We're making sure everybody knows what their others are working on, and we're, getting the work down the road. Awesome. All right. But does it solve the problem that we have here? Keeping scope creep from going? No. You throw me in a daily stand-up and you say, like, hey, sell people on, have fun ideas. Dude, we're going to do a lot of stuff. Because we just go there, talk about stuff. Ooh, let's do this, let's do that. No. The daily stand-ups, in a sense, don't do that. So not going to solve the problem. C, ask all development team leads to prepare detailed requirements. Of course, that's what we want in the project. We want to get detailed requirements. We want to nail it down with experts, the customer, make sure that they're all valid in what they want. But is it going to keep them from scope creep? No, it just gets us into the game, and then scope creep takes over and destroys us. So doesn't guarantee that. So ask yourself, does this answer guarantee that we solve the problem? If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, not awesome. And then disallow stakeholders. Bad word right off the bat. Stakeholders from directly interacting with the development team leads. Okay, so like customer collaboration over contracts and stuff like that, they say in the Agile Manifesto. So we can't disallow direct interaction between the development of stakeholders with the development team leads. We need that at certain points. It's like mandatory to help produce a great product. Will keeping them away keep scope creep there? I don't know. Maybe ideas won't flow, but it's going to hurt the quality of the product, our ability to deliver and understand. So I don't like that at all. So we nailed it out. It's important that we go through all the answers and layer them out and say like why, positives and negatives. But the thing here is like, hey, when you see scope creep, when you understand that, you say, hey, I've got to do something to nail it down. I've got to do something to control it and change control, formal approval process. doesn't say change control process because it could be a formal approval process like, hey, it's got to go through the backlog or whatever in Agile, the product owner. But a formal approval process has got to be established. So, yay, we got it right. That's awesome. All right. Well, that is it for tonight. Let me go back to main screen. Boom. Thank you, everybody who came tonight. We just want to go through questions. The process is what matters. So, like I said, however you're solving problems, slow down, talk it through, act like you're up here in front of people. You could be alone in your room. You could have your kids there. You could have whatever, but just act like you're teaching somebody. And you do not want to steal the learning from yourself. And one of the things that steals the learning is fear, okay? Fear of failure, fear of missing it, embarrassment, whatever you want to call it. It's not fun to hit an answer and go like, oh, I missed it. But it's instructive because if we realize we missed it and we say like, why? Did I go too fast? Was I disorganized? Was I not focused? Those are easy fixes. Or is it something different? Is it like, yo, I didn't understand. I'm lost. I didn't see the key words. I didn't focus on the right things. I picked something that looked like a valid answer for like a thing that is done in Agile, Waterfall, whatever, but it doesn't solve the problem. So diagnose what issues are, what bait in a negative sense is catching you. Ooh, I choose things that sound project-y. Well, don't be, recognize that. Don't let that keep happening. And so once you do those things, you can start to identify, is it pace? Is it, discipline in solving problems? Is it content? Like that's the one that we really need to focus on. What about it did I not understand content-wise? How did it apply? All right. Or is it just something that is a project management thing that we do, but it just doesn't solve the problems? Those are 4 big things. So identify when you miss a problem, like, is it one of those? And then focus heavily on cleaning it up. And then one thing you can do super duper double easy is just have a notebook and then just like keep a tally mark, like affinitize what kind of problems you're having. Pace, discipline in solving problems, content related, and you could break that out. And then like, am I falling for things that aren't solving the issue? And just check, and see like, yo, it's a pile over here. It's a pile over there. So that's what I would do. What's up, Bethany? So if anybody wants to get in coaching call tonight, email Scott at PMMasterprep.com or, I don't know, text me 757-759-5282. We will get you through. You can do this. Adios. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye.